So I've talked about Ruby on my channel quite a bit, but let's branch out. What if you're looking for another anime to watch? Well, then you should give D.Gray-man a try. Set in the late 1800s, this series revolves around the secret war of the exorcists against the Millennium Earl. Now you're probably asking, who are either of these? Well, to answer that, let's start with the villain of our tale. The Millennium Earl's motivations are, as of yet, not fully known, but it involves the destruction of humanity. To do this, he presents himself to those who have recently lost loved ones and offers to bring them back, if they only just speak their name. Obviously, people who are grief-stricken aren't going to be the most rational of individuals, so they almost always comply. But in doing so, they trap that person's soul in the body of an Akuma, acting as the creature's source of power.
Alan.
Mana.
How could you? How dare you make me an Akuma!
The Akuma will then kill the unfortunate person who called out the name of their loved one and wear their skin, pretending to be them. They become more powerful and intelligent as they kill more humans, even gaining unique traits if they kill enough.
It spoke.
My new form is born from the darkest of matter. Thank you for all your help, exorcists!
This lets them hide in plain sight, with no way to tell them apart from normal people until they act. Unfortunately, the soul inside is powerless to stop the Akuma it's trapped in, and are fully conscious of what's happened to them. Enter the exorcists. They're an order of warriors that use weapons unique to them that can kill Akuma. Normal firearms and other weapons do next to nothing to Akuma, but the weapons exorcists use are infused with innocence, a substance that can destroy Akuma and release the spirit inside. Did I mention that? If an Akuma is destroyed by anything other than innocence, the soul inside is also destroyed. Fun. Only 109 shards of innocence exist, and so there can only be 109 exorcists. Exorcists' weapons come in two types, some that replace a part of the bearer's body, others function as normal weapons. Each are unique to the individual, and as such, the Millennium Earl is seeking out each shard of innocence to destroy them. But all this information is useless without characters for us to get attached to, right? Well, how's about we get to know the cast? Alan Walker is our protagonist, and he's a bit unique. His weapon is one of the parasite types, and it replaces his left arm. But what makes him special is that his left eye has the ability to tell a human from Akuma on sight, an ability that nobody else has. Alan's the kind of guy who's relentlessly optimistic. After everything this guy goes through, he still manages to keep his chin up and look on the bright side of things. I wish I could be this positive. Honestly, we could all do with being just a little more like this.
This Akuma only has one goal, to kill you. The shape you're in, there's no way you can win. Get out of here!
I'm not running!
I'm sorry to have to do this. Your suffering will end forever in just a moment. We're not just destroyers. At the same time, we can be saviors.
Kanda, however, is nothing like Alan. He's the first proper exorcist that Alan encounters, and he's got enough edge to slice an Abrams in half. While Alan has compassion for the normal people, Kanda couldn't give a single, solitary tiddlywink about collateral damage most of the time. His weapon is Mugen, which typically takes the form of a sword resembling a katana. His combat prowess is impressive though, which is probably why he hasn't been ganked by other exorcists. He gets a bit better as the series goes on, but I'm personally not a fan of the "I'm better on my own" Lancer types.
If you get yourself hurt, hinder the mission, and put the rest of us in danger, I'll leave you for dead. In other words, we're not partners, so don't expect me to help.
Move or your friend dies.
Go ahead and kill him then. Don't worry about it. In fact, why don't you just wait around and build a snowman, short stack?
Lenalee, thankfully, is a better person. If we're thinking in terms of the five-man band, while Kanda is more akin to a lancer, Lenalee is analogous to the heart. She often puts others before herself, and is a breath of fresh air from Kanda's bitterness. Her weapons are her dark boots, which let her kick with enough force to kill Akuma and even give her limited flight. This lends to some interesting aerial choreography.
It turned me into a really mean person.
But Alan, that's how anyone would react. Besides, things would have been a lot better if you'd had a friend that you could talk to.
Miranda's fatigue is getting pretty severe. The time record. All the damage we accumulated during the Akuma attack is beginning to pour in.
Lavi is not only an exorcist, but a member of the Bookman clan, responsible for ensuring that history is recorded. His master only had himself and Lavi join the order so that they could be on the front lines themselves to witness events. Lavi couldn't give a single care about this, however, and he obviously prefers being an exorcist much more than a member of the Bookman clan, and is friendly and laid back. He even calls his master Old Panda, which gets him smacked by him more than a few times.
What's your deal, Panda? I didn't say anything wrong. Oh!
Lavi's weapon is the Iron Hammer. The innocence inside it allows it to change its size from tiny enough to fit in Lavi's pocket to large enough to be used as transportation by holding onto the end. The best part is that its weight never changes for him, no matter the size.
How annoying.
Oh, now, don't say that. We can all work together, you.
Do not call me that!
If you want to crush someone, take my advice. Next time, do it like this! Oh, you awake? That Alan fell asleep too. Ha! Yeah, and something seems to have happened to his face, so maybe you should take a look. Extend! Extend! Extend!
Krory is the other main cast member who has a parasitic type form of innocence. His replaces his teeth, and he can drain Akuma's blood like a vampire. Normally, Akuma blood is lethal, but his fragment of innocence grants him an enormous resistance to it. He's kinda got two personalities. Normally, he's shy and naive, a result of his upbringing, but once he consumes some Akuma blood, he becomes much more bloodthirsty. But he's still got enough control to remember who's on his side. He's one of my two favorite characters, and it's just great to see him in action.
I'm sorry, Krory, but this is a fake.
A fake? That can't be true! That salesman told me it was worn by royalty over 3,000 years ago and it's their only—
Once you make it through that door, who'll have the strength to protect Lenalee and Chelsea? You, Alan, and Lavi. I believe you're the only two capable of defending them. That's why I'm telling you to go.
That was lucky. It appears as long as the poison from those beams hasn't had time to spread through your body, I'm able to suck it out. I believed in you. That good Akuma could really exist.
The final member of the cast is Miranda. She shows up early on, but doesn't become a full exorcist until much later. Like Krory, she's also socially awkward, mostly because she was relentlessly bullied her whole life due to her bad luck. When you first see her, she's a nervous wreck, but eventually she comes into her own. Her innocence is time record, which lets her manipulate time itself to a small degree. Seeing her develop as a character is my favorite part of this show, and if you want to hear something doofy about me, I actually named my first car after her.
Yes, that's right. I'm pathetic, aren't I?
What a great choice of words. You're no more pathetic than any weak subhuman that awaits their death.
I don't remember asking you a thing.
I've enveloped this building in a wall of frozen time, preventing any attack from reaching us. We should be safe from any harm as long as we stay inside. Akuma, over here! I've got the innocence! So I didn't sleep for about 10 days straight. I was pretty nervous about today being my first mission, but I only lost about 3 nights of sleep, so I'm fine.
This right here is my favorite thing, ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
So that covers our main cast of characters, but don't think the plot is so simple. Things escalate much more than what I've described here, but that's something you really should check out for yourself. This series is old, having come out in 2006, but in 2016 they continued the series in D.Gray-man Hallow. For the longest time, only the first 51 episodes were dubbed, but Funimation did eventually dub the rest. I personally prefer the dub, as Alan sounds like he's 6 years old in the sub. Objectively, I'd give this a 7. There are a few loose ends in the plot, but for the most part, the writing is solid. Subjectively, I'd give this an 8. It's one of my favorite series, and I come back to it every few years or so. But if this sounds interesting to you, then I can't stress enough that this is an anime worth watching. You won't regret it, I guarantee. If you found this video entertaining or informative, then leave a like if you're so inclined, and subscribe to see more. And may you all have a weapon in each hand.